Rob, a good hard-fought point at the weekend. Yep. One of the main talking points that came out of it was the reactions to Morgan Whittaker. How's he been since the weekend, and can you give us an insight into your thoughts about the selection for Friday night?
I think he's been great. You know, we've had a good conversation, and I think he's going to get a great response. You know, tomorrow. We won't talk about selection now, if you don't mind. But look, I think he's in a good state of mind, and as I say, I know amazing fan base that we've got. 5,600 of them travelled a long way for 12:30 kick-off. They were incredible. So I know he'll get a really good response. I know that. So he's in a good mindset. He's worked really hard this week. Been very focused. Been delighted with how he's responded. Yeah.
Good, excellent. Your substitutes, particularly Nipan and Hansen, you know, they made a big impact at Deepdale. How are you assessing the strength of your squad now? Because you've got a few headaches there.
Yeah, it's good, and we'll I think, like everyone at the moment, I think I can say this. I don't think we have a strongest 11 at the moment. We'll have to try and look at it and see how things go and how things progress. I think it's probably too early to tell at the moment. Just think we've got a lot of good players and strength in depth. And it might be that we're able to cherry pick certain people against certain opposition. We might have to think about it when it's a Saturday week as well, how we do. But we've got some great options, which is really exciting for us. And and because we've got good people good players in good form, it does give me some headaches, which is great. I want that.
And you've kept the unbeaten run going, but you've also conceded in games where you've had to come back. Is that a concern?
No, God, no. I think it's a good thing. I mean, we've had like 4 league games where we've scored the first goal and gone on to win. You know, it was always going to happen that we're going to concede. We're going to have to come from behind and show some character, and it's great that we did that twice. And the really pleasing bit was conceding the 87th, 88th minute, whatever it was. You know, we go, Sonji, come on, and then to get a response like that, where the lads just went straight on the front foot and went and made, you know, just forced the ball over the line, literally forced the ball over the line to get that equaliser was incredible. So I think it almost felt a little bit like a win, to be honest. It ticked another couple of boxes off that we hadn't had to do yet. So no, it was good.
And Darragh Lenihan, I mean, starting his first team game in what was 2 years, he looked like he'd never been away. Can we expect more game time from him?
I think we've got to I hope so, of course. I think we've got to make sure that we understand that Darragh had been out for such a long time, and the Championship is relentless and really physical. We all know that. So I think we just got to make sure that we get things right for Darragh as well, and don't expect too much too soon. But you know, I thought he was amazing. What a performance it was from him. But to expect him to be able to go 90 now, I don't think there's only a couple, I think, that can go and do that in the group anyway. So, but delighted with how he performed last week.
This is your second night at the Riverside under the lights. I didn't even mention.
Let's leave the last one.
I mean, how impressed are you with the way that the squad has responded from that night to today?
Yeah, look, I think I said it after the Millwall game, probably, that, you know, it's a mentality thing, because every league game the mentality's been good and the performances have been good, so it's a mentality thing. So yeah, when our mentality is right and we're working hard, then, you know, because we've got good players, we're a good team.
Okay. And in terms of squad selection, then, any injury updates? Do we know how Dale's doing?
Dale's progressing. He's I think he's going to be going to do some light jogging. Look, he's as frustrated as anyone. He's in such good form, and it's a tough one for him to take as well as everyone else. But you know, it's an issue that he's had before, and it's almost unavoidable at times. He's doing everything that needs to be done to try and maintain the strength in those areas, but those injuries are sometimes unavoidable in the calf where he is. So the good thing is he's progressing well. We'll see where we're at for next week. Obviously, he's not a no for tomorrow.
Okay. West Brom suffered their first defeat at the weekend. They've had a good start, and at the weekend they did everything right apart from score. They're playing with the 3 behind the striker. Are you changing your plans in terms of how you can neutralise that attack?
We're always aware of the opposition, and we have to respect what they've got. Yeah, they've got some really good players, especially that attacking sort of front four, as you mentioned. Then they get. They're very good without the ball. they've got a real clear identity, but yeah, both with and without it. But they've got some real threats in that top area of the pitch. So of course we have to be aware of that. We've made the players aware of that. We can do our homework as we always do for every team. So there's always little tweaks for every opposition. But then we've also got to then try and look at the areas that we think we can hurt them as well, and go and try and imprint our game on them as well. But it'll be a difficult one, no doubt about it. They're a good team, but I feel we are as well. So I think it'll be a really good game.
Good. And apart from the obvious 3 points, what would a successful Friday night look like for you, Rob?
Well, I think a good performance as well, where we can excite the supporters, and hopefully they see a really hard working, organised performance from the lads that ultimately ends up with a win. That would be great, you know. But the W is the bit that we can't always control, you know. So what we have to do is look after what we can control, and go out there and I suppose really keep doing what we've been doing well, fix up in a couple of little areas that can always be improved and tidied up on, and hopefully then we fall on the right side of it. Invariably, a lot of these games are tight because they are in the Championship. So let's, if it's fine margins, let's make sure we come out on the right side of it.
Thanks, Rob.
Thank you.
Rob, just touching on the Morgan Whittaker stuff, obviously you made the decision after the pressing game to come out and say what you had. Obviously you've spoken a lot this summer about the importance of the connection with supporters and the togetherness. I mean, when doing that, did it feel kind of important to get that message across, and did you feel kind of any risk in doing it? No,
didn't feel any risk. I just spoke with like how I felt at the time. I think the supporters know what I feel about them, and know how much I appreciate and respect and love them, and their how they've been with us has been incredible so far. I wasn't meant to be a slight or a dig at anyone. It was just the importance of looking after my players, and that's my number one job.
Yeah, and I think the reaction in general, the majority seem to have got behind what you've said, and as you say, you're now expecting them to get behind Morgan on Friday, which I guess shows that there is something building there between yourself, the club, and the supporters.
I hope so. I feel that, and yeah, like I said, the players are the most important people for me that I have to look after, and yeah, protect at times, and love, and every now and again give them a kick up the backside or whatever, and we'll try and get it right. And yeah, I'm sure, like I said, now I'm sure there'll be a really good reaction. I think hopefully from Morgan as well.
Yeah, spoken there about the changes you made at Preston and the positive impact that had. Obviously, not the first time this season either, where subs have come on and made a good impact. And sure, obviously you're making those decisions in game, but you've also got Harry and Eddie next year as well. I mean, just how kind of helpful and influential have those two been since joining you this summer?
Yeah, they're great. Two fantastic people, really experienced and really good knowledge. So they're a huge help. That's why I wanted them here with me. This is a job, like spoke a lot about it last week. You don't do on your own. It needs a team of people around me. So they're a huge part of it. I think everyone knows that, but I'll always talk about it. I'll always say it as well. Yeah, they're really influential on throughout the whole week anyway, but on a match day as well.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you hadn't worked with either before coming to the club. I mean, are you finding that blend, that chemistry is working?
I think so. Yeah, I feel it. With Adi and I had known each other a little bit longer, and Harry and I probably from around sort of February time. But yeah, I feel like we're building a really good relationship, the three of us, and working in a good way, which is obviously important. But I think there's a real respect there of what the quality that they can bring, as well as being the right people for me.
Yeah, and I guess in terms of principles you want to be aligned, but is it a case as well that you might bounce kind of alternative ideas off one another? You don't necessarily always agree with what the right thing to do or the right next.
Yeah, I think in the end that's really important, and I encourage that. Not just those two guys, anyone in the staff, if they feel something is really important or they believe something, then you've got to be able to speak what you feel, and you've got to be able to say what you think. Especially on a match day, then it could be right. It needs to be done here now, and it's sort of action. And we've had a few of those interesting ones already at half time, where we'll make a decision. Someone might think one thing, and someone else might think another, and in the end, I'll make the call. and then it's like being a parent. Then everyone's got to be on the same page and say, right, that's it. We all believe in it. So it's working well so far.
Yeah, just a couple on the injury front. You mentioned Deal ready to like jokes. I presume that means it's not quite as severe as it might have been. It's not as bad.
We were hoping it wasn't too bad initially, but he's out there light stuff. We'll have to progress him cautiously, but try and do things as quickly as possible. He'll give everything. He'll throw everything at it to try and be right as quickly as he can. But I don't want to put a time frame on it.
And with apologies, I appreciate we ask about him every week, but is there any update on Riley at least? Yeah,
he building his strength really well. So I think try and go into a little bit more detail. Got really good to sit down with him as well earlier in the week. Been working really hard on building his strength. The next box to tick now is building the high speed and the sprint work and everything as well. Once he's got the both of them together and happy that we can repeat and go again, we can start dipping him in. So the strength work he's been working really hard on. He's out in the grass now doing some stuff as well, so he's building it really well. But there's still 40 odd games to go, isn't there? So he can still have a huge impact, which he understands as well. So he's in a good place.
Yeah, and I appreciate these kind of meetings in some part be private, but you did mention you were going to have a sit down with him, so you did manage to do it.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, had a good catch up, and I think that stuff's really important to me. Someone's not playing doesn't mean that. Right, that I'm not just going to avoid him or not speak to him. I think that's really important that we always try and catch up with people as much as possible and be visible as much as I can. So, we did that.
Cheers.
There was a lot of kind of excitement when Sverre came in, Rob. Partly because of the whole Man City thing, all of that. Sonchi maybe came in a little bit more under the radar. I don't think people probably knew as much about him. How impressed have you been with him? What do you think kind of he offers you, and where do you think he's at in terms of his kind of career development and where he's at?
Sonji is he's a real talent, and I think we're still working out everything that he's got. I think he's someone that we're going to be able to use in different positions and ask him to do some different things, whether that's inside the pitch or maybe outside, playing wide or through the middle a little bit more. He's got some real talent. He has. Where we've just been with him is just making sure he's getting up to speed with us, because we threw him in really quickly at Millwall. It was probably my fault, maybe a bit of a risk, but then we've had to then build the fitness up. So I think then it was clear. Then was it Sheffield the first we started that one, and he's still finding his feet and everything. But it's great. He's made I thought 2 really good impacts from the bench, and he's someone that as the season goes on, I hope he gets stronger. And he is. He's had a really good training week. He'd have enjoyed last week. That quick impact and the really important impact that he made. That was good for him. And obviously then Sverre, a bit more noise around him because of the obvious stuff. But both really good and talented players.
And we talk about those 2 players there, and obviously they're young, they've never played in this league before. I think everybody kind of understands that it's going to take a bit of time for them to adapt. There'll be times when they're in and out of the team. Your 2 fullbacks are almost the polar opposite, where when they came, they were oven ready, if you like, completely ready to go. How important do you think that was, that in the positions where you would have been light otherwise, you signed 2 players that were ready to really hit the ground running, and that we talk about the kind of philosophy and the general idea of what the club are trying to do transfer wise, which is probably more the Sverre type signings, but they're flexible enough that when you needed that you got it, if you like.
Yeah, definitely. I think Matty Targett, Callum Britton, Alfie Jones, Alan Brown, that recruitment has been really important as well, because it does help then some of those younger boys, and you need that, because it's a really tough physical league, as we said. It can be a slog at times, and to have people that can churn them out and understand what it takes, I think is important as well. I think that's really, really obvious. So I was really pleased with the sort of rounded plan on the recruitment, and we were able to get the vast majority of it done and over the line. So that was good.
And you kind of touched on it right at the start with last weekend and everything, but there's an awful lot of ingredients have to go into a successful side, and at various stages of the season you're going to have to pick up points different ways, win games different ways. What did you see in that last kind of 10 minutes, last 5 minutes really in particular, that really pleased you and thought that's something that, you know, we can take forward and we're going to need?
Well, we grabbed the ball when we went 2-1 down, put it back on a spot, stuck our chests out, and then went and attacked and just got straight on the front foot and didn't let our heads drop, which really pleased me and gave me a lot of belief and confidence. And then when we forced the ball over the line, we actually went and grabbed it and then ran back to go, come on, let's go again, which I thought really pleased, which I found really good. We did that after the first one, and then the flare sort of slowed us down, to be honest. I thought if we'd have won the ball back quickly there, we might have gone and got a second then quickly. So, but yeah, that was what pleased me most.
And a slightly broader one on that, but it feels like more than ever, and maybe it's because it's Liverpool and we see it and all that, but it feels like more than ever this season, or even in the last couple of seasons, that there's an awful lot of games that are being decided really late on, 95th minute, 100th minute, whatever. Do you think there is a shift in that, or is it just coincidence? And is there anything that kind of you are doing differently now towards the end of games than maybe when you started off as a manager or in a different...
Interesting. I suppose it depends on the state of the game, whether you're going to try and win it or whether you're happy then to settle. I don't know. It can be, you can look at it a couple of ways. Clearly, we had to roll the dice last week because we just conceded late as well, so it was maybe a little bit different. I mean, the Liverpool situation's incredible. To win, was it 5 in a row in the 83rd minute or after is amazing. I suppose that can't continue forever, but it shows a lot of good stuff from their point of view. But I said it to the lads. I think I said it to you guys after, and I said it to the lads again. Even if we're 2-0 down in the 95th minute, we keep going like we did at the end of that game, because you just don't know in football. And even if it's just we get the next goal and it's 2-1, at least we got the next goal, we finish on a positive, we take that into the next game. We'd never ever go under, we keep fighting till the very end. That's got to be our message.